pattern. So this is the sample measurement we will be using. We have the up bust, under bust, waist, low waist, hip. This is the measurement. This is the respective body points. We have the round hip 2. Then the shoulder is 16. The back shoulder is 16. The front chest, that's FC, is 11. So this is the measurement we'll be using. Then we progress to folding your pattern. Use the widest part of your body to fold, which is the hip. So you do your hip first. You use hip divided by 4 plus and add about 4 inches. Alright, so the hip is 38 divided by 4 plus 4. That's 9.5 plus 4 will give us 13.5. That's about fold. Okay, so having done that, the next is to mark our body point. So on. Alright, next is to mark our body point. We'll start from the up bust. Up bust is 7.5. Nipple point is 10.5. Under bust 14.5. Ruler. Waist is 17. Low waist is 21. And the hip line is 25, but for the sake of the length of our pattern, we'll give it at 24.5. Alright, so join. Be careful of what you're doing on the table. After drawing your lines, you label this is the up bust. Call this nipple point or bust point. This is under bust, waist, low waist, your hip line or length. So that is it. Right? The next step is we move to the shoulder. The back shoulder is 16 divided by 2 is 8. You mark it across like this. 8. And we connect. Pause the video. We mark a neck width of 2.5. We measure half inch in a little ruler. Then we connect. It's very open. We connect. The next step is the bust curve. What do we do? First, the next step is to get our dart line. How do we get our dart line? We use our under bust first. Our under bust, and the under bust now is 30 divided by 8 is 3 point. Divided by 8 will give us 3.75. Alright, so whatever we get, we had half. So you now say 3.75 plus 0.5, you get 4.25. Alright, so whatever you get here, you had plus 0.5. Under bust divided by 8 plus 0.5, you get your dart line. You get your dart line. Alright. So we are working with 4.25. Mark it around here. Ruler. This formula is okay for any body measurement. So the next step is your bust curve. Then you mark half inch above and below your nipple. Half inch. If the person is fatter, you can use 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7. But for this bust height, half inch is okay. Then for the under bust curve, first, another one. So for the bust curve, have you started? For the bust curve, we say bust minus under bust divided by 2, which is 36 minus 30 divided by 2, which gives us 6 divided by 2, right? Which is 3. Alright? So for the under bust curve, that is for the under bust curve. Alright? Bust minus under bust divided by 2. So now, this 3 inches, the difference is what we are going to remove here. Alright, so you place it 1.5 on both sides. Are we correct? French curve. Alright. Okay. So you use this side of your pattern, ruler, join, you flip it, you join. Then for your up bust, we use half an inch. For the up bust, we use half an inch, and you use this part of your ruler. Connect like this, and you connect like this. Then you come down to your waist. Because you have a flat waist, you bring this measurement, you bring it down, you measure 1.5 also on both sides. But when you get to your low waist, you minus 1. So you'll be having 1, 1, down here, 1, 1, ruler. So you connect from one point to the other. Hold this. So this part is going up. Going up. This is going up. Alright. So you come here. The next is you place your body measurement. How do you place your body measurement? This is your up bust. Here, you place your bust. So bust of 36 divided by 4 is 9. That you replace it here. Alright. You come to your under bust. Which is 30 That's 7.5. These 3 inches, you replace it. You repeat the same process for your waist. Your waist is also 30 plus 3. Then you come to your. Remember that our video had a little alteration. So whatever you have for the waist, 7.5, whatever is here, you return it here. Then for the hip is 9.5 divided by 4. 38 divided by, for the hip, it is 38 divided by 4 we have it. So what we have here, we return it and we connect. Now, you are imagining why this place is straight. This place is looking straight because the underbust and the bust is now the same thing. The difference between the bust and the underbust, we have included that it's here. So this will be giving us a straight line. All right. So the next thing, we come to the armhole. What will you do to the armhole to get our armhole slope? Your round sleeve is 12. That's the upper arm. 12 divided by 2, that's 6. Plus 1, 7. You trace it out. Then we cover 2. Pattern master. Cover 2 and you join. So after doing that, the next is our chest design. Our chest design does not have a formula. It's just based on how you want the design to be. Now, what do you do? This your front chest is 11. In case you're not able to measure your clients, you can just bring it in by 1.5 or 2. But since we measured, that's 11 divided by 2, that's 5.5 plus 1. All right. So if you check here, this is minus 1.5 in. All right. So what's the peak that you want this to come? Let's say we want it to be around 4.5 here, around 4.5 region. So what do we have here? 6.5. You bring it here, connect it down. All right, pattern master. Okay. So I'm going to connect this like this. Now note, this is the upburst, but I want the cleavage to spill a little. I will bring this down by 1/2 inch. All right. The yellow one to connect this. Now this is the slope we want. So having done this, what we do, you bring this up a little like this. You can see they're not the same line. So what we can do is you mark this line here. What you have here, mark it here, and you recurve this. Okay, so they'll be on thin line. This is what we are cutting. All right, so this is what here and here, and that's it. Then you can add your seam allowance. I'll be adding seam allowance of 2 inches all through. And then we cut. First, so there's one thing we've not done. Having done that, we are going to have our side dart. Now, this side dart adjusts the length of our bust and our side because we have a shorter side. So you measure 1.5 inch here. Ruler. Connect it to the middle point. To control your, this place is going up. Explain this. Alright. Alright, so as it is like this, you just bring this up to this level. Another one. Yeah, pause video. Alright, so this is what we have. So we'll go ahead to tape the sides together. Alright, so I'm going to show it on all sides so that people can see how standing it is.